Yeah, I went to bed and made a wish that I had nice big hair, and I ended up with Sideshow Bob palm tree hair. No, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning. How you all doing today? We're going to do something really fun today. We're going to make some fresh pasta, and we're going to also do a shrimp scampi. And I'm going to teach you guys a technique for scampi that's unlike anything you'll see on any of the online venues. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cook the shrimp not via saute. I'm actually going to simmer it and actually cook more braised shrimp, if you will. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out here, and I'm going to show you guys how to make fresh pasta. So what I have in this bowl, I've already cracked an egg, one egg into 1 cup of flour, and it's become quite shaggy. You'll see it almost looks like little Rice Krispies, if you will. Okay, little Rice Krispie guys. So that's great. And what I'm going to do to that is I actually have some water right here. Now, when you do pasta for the first time, normally what I would teach people is I would actually teach you to dip your hand in and regulate how much water you put in. Okay, so this is pasta number 8,946 that I've made in my lifetime as fresh pasta. So I've got a pretty good hold on how much liquid to add. And then I also start judging it by how it feels in my hands. So I'm basically just squeezing it all together. I'm getting that dry incorporated with the wet. Okay. Now, you wonder why little Italian women back in 100 years ago or 200 years ago had little big forearms, as they did a lot of fresh pasta dough. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just getting up all of that dry there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it all out onto this board right there. A little bit of dry with it, that's no problem. So I'm going to get all this off my fingers, like so. The water is all done. I don't think I need any more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to knead this dough. Now, that's knead. K-N-E-A-D, not N-E-E-D. I don't need it. I'm kneading it, okay? Little English lesson for you. The only bad thing is I couldn't tell you if that's a, what is that, a synonym? Or, gosh darn. 7th grade English is lost. 7th grade is so far in the rearview mirror. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm gonna knead this dough. And how you knead dough is you don't just sit here and poke it like this. Okay, that's not kneading the dough. What I want to do is I want to fold it up and over and press it down with the heel of my hand right here. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, people will always ask me, when is it done? When is it done? So what I want you to see real quick here is you'll see how shaggy it looks. It's very rough. You can even see some pockets of the egg, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to knead this until it gets very, very smooth. And then also when I poke it with my finger, see how it's not springing back? See that? That's not good enough. That's not enough gluten structure built. See how that's not even springing back? It's just keeping the hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to proceed to knead this. So I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. So once again, I'm here on the Oneo Bay at Papakona Restaurant in beautiful downtown Kailua Kona. This recipe here, this dish that we're doing here is going to be on our new takeaway menu and our delivery menu coming up here. That's going to be launched probably next week, the week of May 14th, I believe it is. Don't mind my plastic wrap coming up there. As I'm just going to wrap this up for a second, and then I'm going to start to roll it out. Now, the one thing I'm feeling is it's a little sticky. Okay, it's a little sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and just add just a little bit of flour, not a lot. I don't want to totally dry it out, but I want to take out some of that stick, okay? I'm just going to continue to knead this over, down, up, over, down. And again, you could get your workout in doing this. And again, when I used to do this with kids in my cooking camp on the mainland a million years ago, I would have competitions with the kids because I would actually let them use the pasta machine. We would use the pasta machine. And what was funny is I would see how long they could stretch their dough out. And sometimes they get as long as 10 feet long working in teams. But it was a great way to build that teamwork and getting something accomplished with children through pasta dough, of all things. So I'm going to pull it out. This is probably pretty good. It'll be close enough for government work right now. Okay, so let's check it. So see how much smoother it's become? And then I'm going to poke it. See that? Look at that. See that spring back? That's great. I'll go with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it just a touch more flour, and I'm going to wrap it up in this plastic wrap. I'm going to take this piece here since it's another top. Come on, let go. I'm going to press it out, and then I'm going to take my rolling pin. Now, I'm showing you guys the real authentic way to make pasta. Pre-industrial revolution, no machinery. This is how Italian women had to make pasta fresh every day. Now, there's two kinds of pasta that you can get nowadays. You can get the fresh pasta in the markets. Okay, that's pasta fresca. Pasta fresca. Or you could get pasta secca. Pasta secca, which means dry pasta. Okay, so we're going to actually be working with what's called fresh today. Now, one thing when you're rolling it out right now, normally what I'd normally do is I'd actually rest this dough and I'd let those protein strands relax out. So I'm going to actually try and fight through that because I'm going to start to build my scampi sauce right now. But if you see, as I'm rolling it out, see how it's trying to return to shape? See how it's pulling back? It's kind of fighting me. So I'm going to just go ahead and go with the flow. I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to let it just sit here and rest while I move my attention over here to my shrimp. Okay? So what I've got is the different way of doing this particular recipe is I've got a 1-2-3 mix of 1 quart of water, okay, 2 tablespoons of salt, and 3 tablespoons of sugar, a little bit more sugary. And this is called a brine. So I'm actually brining this. You don't have to do it for a whole long period of time. This is only for about 15 minutes that you're going to want to do that. So I've got my shrimp here. I've got these big, beautiful jumbo shrimp. Oxymoron, jumbo shrimp. Jumbo shrimp. Okay. Just pull the tail off. So there's that. So into the brine he goes. So I've got all these tails done right here. I got one more here I'll do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some oil. And I'm going to pop that right over here into this pan. Oops. I tested it. Okay, very good. So I'm going to put in a little oil. That's good, just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my shells. Now if you were to use a shrimp that actually had the whole body shell, you'd remove all that and go ahead and do all the same to this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that shrimp juice in there too. Why not? So I'm going to go ahead and cook those down. Look at how brown they are right now. They're going to actually turn pink. We're going to look for them to turn pink. Okay? So I'm going to turn my attention to my pasta water really quickly. Because my gas ran out. It's okay, we can change it on the fly really quick. I'm a professional. There we go. Put that down and put that on. I wanted my pasta water to come up to temperature. Okay, great. Perfect. So now my shrimp shells are going, and you can already see them starting to turn a little bit of color here. Okay, that's great. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a broth. The shrimps aren't quite ready to go in yet. This can go to the side. So what we're going to go to as the next star of the show is our beautiful Chardonnay. It's a Canyon Road that we serve here at Papakona, and it'll probably be available also because we're going to be able to deliver bottles of wine to you. Now, whenever you're cooking with wine, make sure you measure it out and taste it. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Now measure it out in here. I'm going to put in about a cup. That's about a cup. About a cup. So what I'm going to do is just let that continue to cook out. I want that to continue to cook out. Okay. So in essence, what I'm making is I'm actually making a shrimp and wine stock, if you will. Okay. A shrimp and wine stock. We can go ahead and get that out of the way, so I don't have to get tempted by it any longer. We'll go back over here to our pasta, and I can feel that my bottom is getting a little tacky. Okay. It's getting a little tacky, so I'm going to go ahead and hit it with just a little bit more of that flour. I'm going to go ahead and move my shrimp over here because they're going to be ready to go in just a second. I want that stock to cook out a little bit. Make sure. Why does that not feel like it's on? Okay, it's on. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to roll this out. Now, like I said, you can use those machines. They're available online. Get any pasta machine. Now, the thing about using a pasta machine, and what I'm going to teach you here, guys, is the question is, how far do I roll it? What do I roll it to? Should it look like? Well, I'll show you. I'm looking to be able to see my fingers underneath this dough. It's so thick right now you can't even see my fingers underneath there. I basically want it to be that I could read a magazine. Magazines are still a thing, right? Yeesh. I want you to be able to read a book. You guys all know what a book is. You should be able to read something through this. It should be clear enough to read, okay? But again, I can still see it fighting me. The dough is still fighting. This is where those machines really do come in handy. They'll help you fight through all this. They'll just press it right out, but that's okay. We'll make it happen. Making it happen. So it's getting much larger. So you can see how those children were able to get it to 10 feet. It was always fun. Fresh pasta day was always fun in camp. And again, this is truly, guys, something you can do with your children. This is a lot of fun to do with kids. They really enjoy doing it. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that piece there. Don't worry if you get any little folds in it. It's no big deal. This is the ultimate in peasant food. If you think about the ingredients that just went into this, what was it? An egg and some flour and some water. Not a whole heck of a lot of ingredients, which is the true essence of Italian food, right? Simple ingredients. Okay, that's looking great. Looking great. We'll turn our attention back over to our shrimp stock, and we'll get that going while this continues to air out and stretch out a little bit. We'll turn our attention here. Take a look at how pink those have become. Beautiful pink, okay? Beautiful pink. So that's great. We're going to stop at that point on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of equipment. This is called a chinois. Chinois. C-H-I-N-O-I-S. Chinois. And what it is it's basically a French fine mesh strainer. Okay, fine mesh strainer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my shrimp stock here that I've got. It's basically a shrimp wine stock. And I'm going to just do that right there. Okay, very good. My stock is done. I can press out some of those good ones. Make sure I get all that juice out of there. Important. Okay, and I'm going to just let that go. Okay, that can stay right there. So my stock's ready to go. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat real quick. Okay, let's turn our attention here to my garlic. Okay, what I have here. So I have some garlic, and I'm going to show you guys a quick knife cut that it's kind of funny. The knife cut that we're going to do today, normally you can do a chopped or a minced garlic of any sort like that. I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what I like to refer to as the Goodfellas cut. Okay? Anybody seen the Goodfellas movie? There's a scene when they're actually in prison and they're slicing their garlic, and they actually use a razor blade to slice their garlic in this nice thin garlic rounds, okay? This is a real test of your knife skills and not wearing your glasses. Because I really want to get it nice and thin, almost paper thin if you will, okay? So that's good. I've already done a bunch right here. So I've got about 8 cloves of garlic already chopped up just like that, okay? Now the reason why I do this way versus the other way is this kind of gives it a nice little heady burst of garlic when you bite into that full piece rather than a little ball of garlic. It's a little bit more refinement in the dish. Okay, so I'm going to turn our attention over here. We're going to go ahead and start to build this sauce. So I'm going to add in a little bit of butter right here. Add in some butter. I like to do butter. Some people would like to use olive oil. I'm going to go ahead and do butter. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some garlic, right? How much garlic do you ask? How much garlic? Okay, garlic. I'm going to go with all of it. Why not? I'm going to shoot the works. So, one of my favorite parts of cooking is as soon as that garlic hits that oil or that fat, it really just releases all its beautiful fragrance and aroma. Okay, I love that garlic aroma. It's fantastic. Okay, that's still going great. My pasta's already done, getting done. So, what I'm going to add to this is I'm going to add a little bit of this red pepper flakes. Okay, red pepper flakes. Go ahead and add those right in there. That adds another little dimension of flavor in this dish. Okay, another dimension of flavor. Okay, the garlic coming out. Now I'm going to release some of that pepper flavor. Okay, real simple. You ready for this? So remember our stock that we had already just made, our wine stock. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to pour out some of this liquid on my shrimp, that brining solution. I go ahead and take my shrimp and I'm going to just pop them right into that liquid. So again, this is where it differs from all other recipes that you will see online, okay? Very good. So I'm just going to let those continue to cook right there in that juice, that nice wine broth. So again, shrimps are great because they'll actually tell you when they're done and as they're cooking. So while that's going and those shrimp are cooking, I'm going to actually go ahead and cover it. I got a little handy dandy pie tin that works for me. While we do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn my attention over here. I've got one teaspoon of cornstarch right there, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and juice 1 lemon right into that, okay? Juice 1 lemon right into that. This is going to give it that lemony essence, okay? That lemony essence. Oops, little seed, don't worry about it. Get out of there. Just remove them. This is going to give it that nice lemon essence, okay? Now, whenever you're making a slurry like this is called a slurry. Sometimes you can do it with water, okay? I'm doing it with lemon juice, as you can see, but what you want to do is you take your finger and I want to get all that cornstarch off the bottom of this, okay? Now it's perfectly smooth. That's great. That's just what I wanted, okay? That's just what I wanted. Okay, so we're going to let that happen. What I basically want to have happen is I want to get these shrimps cooked, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them out, okay? Right now I'm releasing more of this shrimp flavor right into this broth, okay? I want these to cook though. There's still a little, see how there's still some gray in there? See that gray tone? They're still not quite cooked enough. So we're going to let those continue. While that's going, let's turn our attention back over here. We got our slurry ready to go. That's actually going to go right into the shrimp. Let's turn our attention back to our pasta. Okay, great. Feeling it? Getting long. And the other thing that's happening is it's sweating here, because it is about another beautiful 82-degree day here in Kona. So I'm feeling it with my fingers. Okay, it's feeling tacky. I don't want it to be tacky. Otherwise it'll stick and it'll really make you frustrated. pasta can be, you know, I know I'm tending to make this look rather easy, but if you don't know what you're feeling for when you're working with it, it can be quite frustrating. The other thing that gets frustrating, and I always used to have it happen with students, is they'd make their pasta, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut this, but when they would cut it, they wouldn't have enough flour on it, so the moisture starts coming together and it becomes like glue. Okay, don't forget it's still the basics for glue. Flour and water makes a nice glue. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this under the finger test real quick and see where we're at. I'll hold it up right now. Okay, let's take a look. And you can see how you can see my hand and my fingers right underneath there moving around, wiggling around. That's looking good. I'm pretty happy with that. We'll go ahead and roll with that. Now, as I was just mentioning, I'm feeling it with my fingers. I'm going to give it a little bit more flour. Okay, just a little bit more flour. And then I'm going to get my knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roll this up very simply. Now, one thing about pasta, there are some 360 some odd different shapes of pasta. Pasta in Italy is very regional from town to town. One town will do theirs one way, and then one city over they're going to do the same pasta but totally different, okay? Different shape, different texture, different flour. So to do this, I could either make a fettuccine noodle, which is a little bit more wider, okay? I can do a pasta noodle. And again, if you have the machine, it's going to do this for you. That's still a little bit more fettuccine. It's really tough to go angel hair with fresh pasta like this. But that's pretty close to an angel hair. But I'm going to stick with the fettuccine, okay? So I'm just going to cut nice big strips. I like big strips of fresh pasta. Now, normally when you're cooking pasta secca or dry pasta, it's about 8 minutes into some boiling water. Okay, 8 minutes. So my water's already boiling. But what I'm going to do now, what I want you guys to see, is I don't leave them all rolled up. I actually unfurl them. Okay, I want a little bit of that air to hit them. So what I would have students end up doing is they wouldn't have their dough at this point very well floured, and then they would lay it on each other like this, and then it would become a mass of pasta humanity, just a ball of dough. And they weren't able to get pasta out of it, so they get a D. I'd only give them a D. I wouldn't fail them. As long as they tried, I wouldn't give too many fails. I always like to see effort. Just give me effort. Okay? Like that. Very good. That's done. By the time that that's done, we'll turn our attention over here to our shrimp. Those are great. Those are perfect already. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take them and I'm going to put them right here onto this pan that I used as the lid. And I'm just going to let those hang out for a second because they're going to go back to the party in 2 more seconds. Okay, so right now what I want you guys to take a look at is how liquid that sauce is. Very liquefied, right? So here goes my cornstarch slurry. Let's give it another stir because it'll settle to the bottom. We're going to go ahead and add that right in. Okay, add that right in. Beautiful. So whenever you're working with a thickening agent, it won't reach its full thickening potential until it comes to a boil. Okay, comes to a boil. So that was already pretty hot, so it's thickening up quite quickly here. Looking good. So see how nice and thick that became? Very quick that happened. But it's a nice velvety sauce in comparison to what happens when you do it the other sauteed method is it actually has a tendency to separate out and kind of be more of a oil and butter separated mess, if you will. Okay. What I show you here is see how it's coating the spoon? See how nice it coats the spoon? Okay, nice and thick. Okay, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and turn down the heat on this and let that just sit for a second while I'm going to dump this in the pasta water really quick. In it goes. Some boiling water right there. Okay. Boiling water. I just dropped that. Now this pasta is going to cook lickety split. Now, you guys all know from my other classes is your pasta water should taste like the ocean and then salt it a little bit more. Okay. That's one of the first chefs that ever taught me how to make pasta. That was his philosophy. So my sauce is looking beautiful, nice and thick. I'm going to go ahead and just marry my shrimp back in. Keep it up to temperature. Excellent. Get it nice and coated, beautiful. Looking really good. Okay. Shrimps are nice and coated. That's ready to go. Let's go ahead and get our plate because this is all going to happen pretty quickly now. Pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and get cleaned up here. Go ahead and turn that back on and cook it up a little bit. Okay. So I brought tongs today. So your fresh pasta is going to cook super, super quick. Normally what I like to do is I actually like to put in some little dinky guys like this. These are my little sacrificial lambs. They're easier to pull out and get as tasters rather than pulling out a super long one, right? Come on. See? Super long one. But this is going to happen really quickly now. Again, fresh pasta, anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes. I've got a lot of breeze coming in on my pasta water here. I can go ahead and cover it up and cheat just a little bit. That'll help get my temperature up. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my temperature on my shrimp. I don't want them to cook anymore. There's no need to further cook them. Looking good. So now would be a good time to taste it though, right? Got a nice wine essence. That garlic comes through really beautifully. And there's a little hint of that that red pepper flake coming through as well. So we'll test our pasta now one more time. Where's my little sacrificial lambs? And again, you guys saw how I did that. I went from boiling hot water into my mouth. Okay. Yes, I'm a circus freak. I'm at this point in my career, I'm immune to burning my tongue, my mouth, my fingers, my arms, everything. It's just kind of part of the dinner for me. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm actually just going to pull this right out of the water right here. I'm going to drain it right into the scampi. And like I said, this is going to become also another one of our evening dishes here at Papakona on our takeaway menu or our delivery menu that we're going to be launching this weekend, which will be for next week, which is the week of, I believe, the 13th. We're going to be launching a nice family meal for 4 or a nice romantic dinner for 2, if you will. Okay. I want to stir all my noodles in there and get them nice and coated. Got the heat on, might as well get a little hot through there. Great. So I'll pull my plate right over to me here. I'm going to go ahead and pull out these noodles. Go for a little height. Love it. My mouth is already watering for lunch. It's a good dish. So I'm going to go ahead and start to put my little shrimp guys all around here. Go ahead and turn off the heat. Put my shrimp all around my pasta. Abbondanza. Nothing like a good plate of scampi. Now, you've heard the term scampi or shrimp scampi. Shrimp scampi can sometimes be viewed as a redundant word because shrimp in Italy, or this particular scampi dish, is more of a shrimp type crustacean. or a scampi, if you will. When it got to America, the American people actually started calling it shrimp scampi. So it's basically you're saying shrimp, shrimp. Okay, so just a little bit of tid that I actually learned as well. So I'm going to just garnish with a little bit of green onion. I just want to get a little green for make it look pretty. You can use a nice chiffonata basil on that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull one of my shrimp, taste that. I don't need to taste the pasta, but I do need to taste the shrimp and get some of that juice. Oh, I got a piece of pasta too. Get it. Come on. Let's give it a try. I'll go with a whole one, yeah? That's just so good. The shrimp cooked this way versus sauteing, they're actually really plump and juicy. That brining actually really makes it keep its integrity together. Boy, is that a really good shrimp scampi. Once again, this is going to be on our to-go dine-out menu. That's going to be launching here pretty quickly at Papakona. Please visit us online, papakona.com. We're going to be relaunching a brand new website for your viewing pleasure. So please check out online and take a look at our brand new website that we've been working hard on. And don't forget to visit us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. for more cooking fun with Chef Chris, Executive Chef of Papakona. And don't forget, hashtag #BeatMyBackground. Beat my background. Good luck with that. I know I have the best background on the entire interwebs. Mahalo. We'll see you the next time.